Let me ask you. I know this is going to be a random freaking name, and it's
Anybody.
most likely you might not have heard of it. But according to this gentleman, he has worked in NWA New England. I know he was friends with Jason Rumble. Micky Byggs. Have you ever encountered this guy? I'm guessing yes by the laughter. Come on now.
Oh, here we go. We're gonna shoot again, right?
Should we shoot, or should I cut it off and talk off air, or
No, I'll just tell you right now, man.
all right, go for it. He was all right. I'll tell you after.
He was trained. That dude, man, he's got more stories than Walt Disney, man. You know, I got him in with Rumble, and he worked briefly with Rumble. Okay. Let me just tell you straight up, and this is something you probably don't know. In fact, I'm almost positive you don't know. He was supposed to train. I'm going to shoot. He was supposedly trained by Ox Baker, the king of the hot punch. God rest his soul, Doug. This guy, I loved Ox Baker, man. He was legit, too legit to quit. I loved Ox. I got an opportunity to work with him, do some guest referees with him. Ox was great. So Ox Baker, I mean, come on. Who doesn't know the king of the hot punch? Because he's the original.
Right. Yep.
So when I met Micky Byggs, and I'll never forget it, and he can deny it, but it's true. I met him at Old Saybrook, Connecticut, your state, and Ox Baker was working the card for Rick Martellio, and I was already pretty well rolling. I was probably third, fourth year in Rick. I was like 93, 94 already in. I back from the South, etc. I forgot who I was working with that night, but I was working that card. And Baker came in. And I introduced myself to Baker, told him that I had a magazine, an annual with him on the front cover with Andre the Giant. I told him about that because I used to be a pro wrestling magazine collector. I actually a little something for you. I sold my magazine collection to pay for my training at Kowalski's.
Well, if you still had them today, I would have bought every single one of them because I'm telling you, I'm a collector of magazines.
I heard you are, but I'm just telling you.
Of old magazines and programs. I'm always on the hunt for those, man.
I get stuff all the time. When I get the next deal, I'll let you know. But my private collection I'd already sold, but I get stuff all the time. I'll let you know, man. Yeah. We'll stay in contact. So back to that. So Baker says to me, because he knew Baker. I think I introduced myself to Baker, but he might have known me from one of the show. And he says to me, he says, "These are my guys." And I says, and it was Micky Byggs. He went by Powerhouse Mike.
Yep.
And there was another guy, I forgot the guy's name. And Mike, I think that's his real name, Micky Byggs there. And he's standing there, he says, "My name is," you know, and I said, "You training with Baker?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "But all I've done right now for training so far," he says, "is I cleaned out Ox's garage." I said, "What?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "Ox said that was part of the training. I moved like Pete Moss and cow manure and clean up his garage from." I'm like, "Dude, man, that's how work." I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, "Dude, you paying him?" I'm thinking to myself, I don't know the fucking guy. So I had these, I don't know if you remember, I had these laminated ace cards that had my picture on. I laminated them. It was 4 of them. I throw them to the marks when I come out.
Yep.
Right? I don't know if you remember that. And I'd autograph them once in a while. So I had some there, and your boy, whoever the hell he is to you, Byggs says, he says, "Can I have one of those? Can I have one of those? Can you sign one of those?" And so I signed for. So maybe a year or two went by. He kind of like got in a little bit, and he asked me, he says, "Can you introduce me to Jason?" I introduced him to Jason. Bro, he's got a lot of stories, man. I got no problem with the guy. I just think the guy's got a lot of fucking stories, dude. You know what I'm saying, man? I think half of what he says is a fucking lie. The other half don't believe. I mean, he's got a career, man. Shit. If you talk to him long enough, he was Intercontinental Champion in WWE. I mean, dude, I heard some of the stories the guy comes up with. Like,
yeah, bro, I mean, it's pretty incredible.